Is that a video camera?
It's called a mini cam.
Mini camera.
And we have enough time, don't worry. So I'm with Graham Raynham of Bryan Architects. Graham, if you'd like to tell us a little about how you came to be working in Kuwait.
Yes, well, we were working in, Bryan works significantly in education and learning, and in the summer of 2009, the workload that we were delivering in the UK diminished significantly due to government cutbacks, and we recognised that we worked in the sector, education sector, very well, but we needed to look for other markets in which to deliver what we do very well in. And after a bit of searching, we decided that the Middle East was a market that was hungry for education, hungry for development, and indeed had money, which was kind of novel at the time. So we did some investigation. We were supported by UKTI by going on some trade missions to the region and attending a number of exhibitions and conferences where we started to have conversations with people locally about the issues of education and learning and the issues they faced in developing good quality schools. One of those visits took us to Kuwait, where we met with the Ministry of Education, and it was quite a brief meeting, but a very interesting meeting, because I did a small presentation to them about the work that we do and our approach to the design for education and learning environments. And they got very enthusiastic and said, yes, this is exactly what we need in Kuwait, and you're clearly good chaps. So please come back and see what happens. So we did an exhibition in Kuwait. We had more conversations with local businesses. We made some offers of support and help locally by local businesses to act as our agents, and which is a requirement to do business in Kuwait. And so we decided that this was a market that could present us with good opportunity, but also had a need, and where we felt we could make a difference. There are a number of architects working in the region delivering education, particularly in the UAE. They're very busy doing schools there. So we felt that Kuwait presented to us a good business opportunity, a market that was appeared hungry for our expertise, and a market that actually needed our expertise to change and develop education and learning. So we did decide to establish an office in Kuwait. We had a number of opportunities there, one of which was with a private university, so we did get a little bit of work for them, which kind of gave us the impetus to set up the office. So we established an office. I moved to Kuwait to live and to work and to develop what we were doing. So we started by the discussions and conversations we had with people were all about what the issues were at the moment in schools and colleges in the region around education and learning, the learner's experience, the environment, the quality of the environment, and the challenges they face, because Kuwait is a very hot place. It reaches 50, 52 in the summer. It's very dusty. It's also quite cold in the winter, 0 degrees centigrade, quite and wet. So it has this kind of tremendous range of environmental conditions to cope with. But fundamentally, it was about trying to change the experience of learning. But what we found was that the way things happen in Kuwait is very traditional, and it's very difficult to change the culture and the tradition of education and learning. So it was more than just about trying to change the design of a classroom. We had many conversations with people about acoustics, about natural light, about good quality ventilation. A lot of air conditioning systems in schools are recirculating, so after an hour or so kids start falling asleep in the classroom, so we're trying to persuade them that they should move for one reason, but move from one class to another. They don't. They sit in the same classroom for 7 hours and listen to a teacher. So there are a number of issues around that we were trying to persuade people to change and adapt. Not necessarily changing the curriculum or anything like that, or the way, the methodology they teach, just to try and improve the environment. And lots of people were very positive about that and said, yeah, let's do this. But it was very, what we really wanted to do was demonstrate this by building a school, or changing some classrooms in an existing school. So we have developed a project with the local education foundation for a new school. It's called the Greham International College. We've done some concept designs. The owner of the foundation is very keen to develop an international school. They've been to the UK, they've seen UK schools. The challenge we have, or they have, is to A, get a licence to have a school, and B, get a site, because all the sites in Kuwait are government owned and in the gift of the ministries. So there are a lot of challenges in terms of actually delivering something that's new and not part of the government process. Government schools are delivered in a very traditional way through the Ministry of Education and the Ministry of Public Works and the design and build process. They have a prototype school which they designed 7 or 8 years ago, and they just churn these out. Our ambition was to try and change that. And I have to say we haven't succeeded, but what we did try and do as well was to engage engineers working in the Ministry of Education and the Public Authority of Housing and Welfare in training, to let them understand, if they're procuring design or they're actually designing, what they should look for in terms of environment, quality, what is learning all about, what is the process of learning, how do people learn, and supporting that process through good quality design. So we've run some training courses, challenges of that, language obviously, but still there's a tradition of understanding what learning is about that is very difficult to get past. So we're still there, we're still working, we're still trying to engage with people that are delivering schools to change the approach and get people to think differently about design.
You've mentioned very clearly that time and patience are vital attributes, so perhaps a little on those?
Yeah, process in Kuwait is quite slow. Decision making is slow. There are a number of reasons behind all that. I mean, there is the quite heavy bureaucracy in government circles. Trying to work through that is difficult. There is also a decision-making process that is about trust and understanding, and I think that is challenging as well, because you're introducing something that is quite culturally different, and that kind of acceptance of those kind of things takes time. So if it's not straightforward, if it's not kind of a simple contractual purchase or something like that, it does take time to get things engaged and persuaded. Kuwait has a democracy, it has a parliament and a government. And while we were there for the last 3 years, it had 5 parliaments. So decision making changes every now and again. Who's making the decision changes. So these things took a lot of time. So yes, patience is very, very important. And we're still being very patient. We're still waiting for outcomes. But we won't give up. There's still chances. There's still opportunity.
That's fascinating. Thank you very much.
All right.